So in this video, I'm going to be looking at 15 countries where it's surprisingly easy to retire to. I've got a ton of information on visas, lifestyle, cost of living, and some of these places are truly hidden gems. I think if you're looking for a change of scenery or some adventure or just a more affordable way of life, really, there's some great choices here. It's amazing, really, how many different ways there are to move to these countries. It could be a retirement visa, or it could be a digital nomad visa, or just an extended period exploring the country, really. It's always a great option to have the ability to stay if you really fall in love with the place. We're going to start with Belize. Crystal clear waters, English-speaking locals. It really does have that Caribbean charm, especially if you're looking for somewhere with great beaches. It's quite easy here to transition from a tourist to a resident, and you can enter on a 30-day tourist visa, which is pretty simple, or you can join the Qualified Retired Persons Program, what's called the QRP, so that you can actually test the waters before fully diving in and committing. But as usual, there's some fine print. To become a permanent resident, you have to actually live there for 12 months. You can't leave the country for more than 14 days during that 12-month period. So it's a way of showing that you really are committed. And of course, this highlights the importance of thinking about your long-term aims. If you do have strong ties back home and you're not 100% sure you want to commit, then Belize might not be the right option for you. You need to be ready to embrace your decision, really. Okay, so let's switch gears and we'll head south to Brazil. Brazil, carnivals, beaches, and vibrant culture. And surprisingly, good healthcare systems as well. The problem for me is I'm not sure I'm ready to tackle Portuguese. I think tackling Spanish is enough learning. But learning the local language is definitely an important factor you need to consider. It's not just about getting by. You really do want to make a connection with the local community. And it's not just about ordering coffee. To join communities, you really need to make an effort to learn the language. So next up, I'll go into a country that's had a remarkable transformation, and that's El Salvador, one of the safest countries in Latin America. And also, they've adopted Bitcoin as their official currency. It's a great example of how destinations can evolve, and it's important to keep on top of current events there. If you do hold Bitcoin, this could be really attractive for you. I love the idea of being able to go to a local restaurant and pay using Bitcoin. Maybe it's a glimpse of the future, who knows? Talk about a digital nomad's dream. Okay, so next we're going to move to Guatemala. This is a really popular with expats, and it's been that for quite a long time now. The cost of living's excellent out there, and yeah, there's some amazing lakes and volcanoes. I'd really say, though, that without Spanish, you will find it a little bit difficult. You'll need to speak it well to be able to thrive in Guatemala. And knowing the Spanish language would really help you to lock the culture. You can get a 90-day tourist visa, and actually you can renew that for another 90 days. So plenty of time to practice your Spanish while you're there. But what happens if you want to stay on for a bit longer? They've got something called the Pension Auto Visa. All you need to get one of these is a monthly income of $1,250, about £1,000. Definitely one of the cheapest entry levels of income you'll need. Okay, so next we'll have a look at Nicaragua. It's another Central American country with charm and amazing beaches, lush jungles, and a captivating colonial history. Definitely a paradise for nature lovers. It's got incredible biodiversity from its natural volcanoes. And also, just like Guatemala, it offers a 90-day tourist visa. You can actually apply for residency while you're there. Call it the Pura Vita lifestyle out here. If you want to apply for permanent residency, very much like Guatemala, it also requires $1,250
per month income, about £1,000. But they also have something called a rentista visa. This is a passive income visa. It's got the same $1,250 per month. However, as long as it's not tied to employment income, then you'll be fine.
So safety really is an important factor when considering where to move to. And Nicaragua, much like Guatemala, reaches a level 3. And this means that the danger levels are fairly high. And US governments rate this as advising their citizens to consider alternative plans. Now, don't get me wrong, there are many expats individuals that live out there and absolutely love it. We all have different risk tolerances, though. And when it comes to safety, you'll need to weigh the pros and cons and make the best decisions for your particular circumstances. Retiring to another country will always offer challenges, and each country will have its own unique challenges. So, covered 5 destinations so far. Each of them share some similarities and quite a lot of differences as well, actually. Given the 5 we have so far, what are your preferences? Is there any particular one that stands out for you as being of interest? Would you prefer Europe or maybe the Far East? Have a think, and if any of these options resonate with your own particular lifestyle, let me know. I'm going to look at 5 different countries now, 5 different characteristics, but I'm going to stay in Central America for this one. And we're going to visit Costa Rica. Costa Rica has stunning beaches, rainforests teeming with wildlife, all combined with a really laid-back attitude. A big favourite with expats. It's easy to see why. It offers a 6-month tour visa, which is plenty time really to explore the region.
6 months is a really generous amount for a tourist visa. It does give the option to absolutely explore the place before making any long-term decisions. If we do then decide to stay on longer, there are a few options actually. The residency option only requires you to have an income of $1,000 per month. And these guys also have a rentista visa, which also requires the same amount per month, or a $60,000 deposit. They also have a digital nomad visa as well. For this one, you'll need a monthly income of $3,000. Costa Rica really do seem to be embracing digital nomads. And I think that's a pretty smart move, really. Digital nomads can really boost an economy and bring new and fresh ideas into the country. This is probably the most touristy of the locations we've explored so far. This means that housing costs are fairly high, definitely higher than the previous 5 locations we've looked at. This is always something to bear in mind. The balance between affordability and the lifestyle that you're looking for. This next one's an interesting one. We're going to Panama. Another Central American gem. Fascinating country. Again, they offer a 6-month tourist visa. Just like Costa Rica, it also has the retirement visa and $1,000 per month requirement. The annual income required for the digital nomad visa is $36,000 per year. A really important note here on the digital nomad visa is that you aren't allowed to bring any dependents. It's really just for the digital nomad. It doesn't lead to permanent residency either. This is all about temporary relocation rather than permanency. If you're looking for somewhere for a year or 2, this could be the ideal option for you. So what makes Panama unique for me is its stability. They host the Panama Canal, obviously. The canal plays a significant role in global trade, so all countries have an interest in stability here in Panama. It's also relatively close to the US as well. City life here is bustling, but you can get away to the coast for a much quieter lifestyle. Plus some amazing mountain communities as well. So amazing variety for different lifestyles. The vibe of any country is really important if you're going to settle there. But let's have a look at the healthcare. They have both public and private health services in Panama, and they're rated as excellent. I think Panama really is an interesting choice, such a balance of different opportunities. Definitely worth a deeper dive and a deeper look at this one. Okay, let's move across then to Uruguay. Politically, very progressive, high quality lifestyle, and a strong sense of community. Some people call it the Switzerland of South America. Safety, stability, and inclusivity are the key words here. The coastal areas in particular have a very strong expat community. So coming as a tourist, you can get yourself a 90-day tourist visa, and you can use this time to actually apply for residency whilst in the country. The retirement visa program here is straightforward, and it can lead to residency with an income requirement of $1,500 per month. These numbers aren't actually published online, but it is said that 1,500 is a minimum really. Uruguay do seem to be open to welcoming people from all walks of life really. Uruguay tends to be a little less popular with American retirees purely because of the distance. It's a long way from Uruguay to North America. And this makes a difference if you have family back home. And the flights can be quite expensive as well. And distance is something we should all consider for all of these locations we're looking at, especially if you value staying connected with friends and family back home. Okay, so let's move across to Europe, and we're going to be visiting Latvia, a Baltic nation with a rich history. They have stunning natural beauty and a growing expat community. As it's part of the Schengen zone, residency here will allow you to travel within the other 26 countries of the European Union. So the Schengen zone is a collection of 26 European countries. They've abolished passport controls at their mutual borders. So for travel purposes really, the 26 countries almost act as a single country. So coming from outside of the Schengen zone, you can actually spend 90 days within every 180 days within the zone. It is possible to get this extended for another 90 days, which gives you 6 months really to explore the region. So let's have a look at the long-term residency options for Latvia. You can get a retirement visa here, and the monthly income requirement is just over €1,000 per month. If you're coming on a digital nomad visa, that increase is fairly significant to around just over €3,000 per month. So working remotely, you will need to show a bit more financial stability. So Latvia sounds like a pretty good option really, whether you're looking for temporary or permanent residence. But let's have a look at some of the potential downsides. Latvia experiences long, cold winters, and this certainly won't appeal to everybody. You will find that many of the major cities, there's a lot of English spoken, but as you go into the more rural regions, Latvian does become pretty essential to get by. It shows respect for the culture and could just make general day-to-day living easier. Okay, let's go somewhere a bit warmer. Let's head to Cyprus, an island nation in the middle of the Mediterranean, known for its beautiful beaches and fantastic weather. You can get a 90-day tourist visa, and whilst there, you can apply for their long-term residency visa. This is called locally as the pink slip visa. Now this can get expensive. It requires you to leave a bank deposit of €30,000, and you'll need an annual income of €30,000 per year. But there is some good news. This income can come for any kind of income source really, whether it be passive income or retirement income, freelancing, you name it really. So a good deal of flexibility there. Now, Cyprus is a popular island. It does sound like paradise, but there is always a trade-off. Cyprus has warm weather most of the year, Mediterranean lifestyle, fantastic food, but can get extremely busy. It's a very safe country with excellent healthcare. But during tourist season, some may find it a little bit overbearing really. And also, being an island nation, it can be quite expensive to import items. So cost of living can be affected. So I've covered 10 incredible destinations so far. I've got 5 more to go, but we do have some absolute gems in the final 5. So what are your thoughts on the first 10 that we looked at? I'd love to hear your views. please drop some notes in the comments. What I really noticed going through this list is that all the countries are really focusing on digital nomads as being a new source of income and a different way to bring some vibrancy to their own countries. But also for retirees, this does open up some great opportunities. There really are some different income requirements that these countries specify. Some countries really are affordable, whereas some others do require you to have a substantial investment to move there. So we've spent a bit of time looking at South and Central America and some European destinations. I'd like to have a look at some Asian destinations now as well. For anyone who follows the channel regularly, you'll know Asia is one of my fascinations and somewhere I'm definitely looking to retire to. But let's have a look at Sri Lanka first. Stunning beaches, tea plantations, and ancient Buddhist sites. Well known for its natural beauty and cultural heritage. If you are seeking a more spiritual and mindful lifestyle, then this could be the place for you. Whether it's yoga, overlooking the Indian Ocean, or meditating in an ancient temple. Living in a spiritual haven with beautiful beaches does sound idyllic. So how do we get there and how do we get to stay there? Well, you'll need to apply for a 30-day tourist visa. You can apply for this online, and while you're there, you can apply for an extension. The requirement visa option requires you to have income of $1,500 per month, but also a $15,000 deposit. The digital nomad visa wasn't yet implemented at the time I looked, but it's thought that this will be around $2,000 per month as an income requirement. Every paradise has a few clouds on the horizon, so let's have a look at some of the difficulties you may face in Sri Lanka. They have had some economic difficulties here, and particularly in rural areas, you will find some infrastructure challenges such as, poor internet and mobile phone connections as well. And just like any other island nation, important goods can be expensive. I don't know about you, but good internet is an absolute essential for me now. I couldn't live without that good internet connection. Okay, let's move across to Vietnam. Known for its bustling cities, breathtaking landscapes, and absolutely delicious cuisine. The street food scene is absolutely incredible here. It's become quite the magnet for expats in recent years. You can pick up a 90-day tourist visa, but there's no formal residency program. But many people do extend their stay through what the locals call visa runs, which is all about leaving Vietnam just before your visa expires, traveling to a neighbouring country, and then at some point returning back to Vietnam to apply for another visa. Now, this will always hold risks and not something I would advise directly, but we know a lot of people do use this as a way to extend their stay there. Immigration policies can change at the drop of a hat, so be wary of this. The lifestyle in Vietnam is incredibly vibrant, whilst also very affordable as well. Really friendly people and amazing cuisine. There's certainly a sense of energy and possibility in the air of Vietnam. Ho Chi Minh City is absolutely bustling, while heading out into the country is just so idyllic, absolutely beautiful. This country really does have something for everyone. Such a friendly population as well. Let's move on to the Philippines, an archipelago nation. An English-speaking population, stunning beaches, and again, very friendly population. Very popular with expats and has been for quite some time. The fact that it speaks English is a real draw. You can pick up a 90-day tourist visa, and you can actually extend this multiple times while you're there. They also have a specialist retirement visa, which requires you to have an income of $800 per month. But you will need a $10,000 deposit as well, if you're 50 and over, and this is actually indefinite as well. So this is a great option for anyone seeking a permanent move. Got to always remember though that policies can change in countries, and there has been instances where countries have changed their immigration policy at quite short notice. It's crucial to stay up to date on the latest regulations. And always consult with an immigration lawyer if you're considering a permanent or long stay move. So sounds absolutely idyllic, doesn't it, the Philippines? But, with any of these countries, there's always a downside. And actually, there is quite a lot of poverty in various parts of the Philippines and certainly some infrastructure challenges. Major cities can become really crowded. And don't forget, there are earthquakes and potentially typhoons here as well. Quite scary, actually, if you come from a part of the world that don't suffer with these problems. Let's head back to a different part of the world now. The country of Georgia. It's located at the crossroads of Europe and Asia. Got stunning mountain scenery and ancient history, but a real modern culture. You can pick up a 1-year tourist visa here. That's an incredible offer. A year is a long time to explore a country. So what is it that's driving this open door policy here in Georgia? The country has had a real push for tourism and infrastructure presence. And as a country, they're eager to welcome people from different nations to experience their culture. But let's not forget where Georgia is. Quite close to Russia, there are certainly political tensions here. And there have been quite a lot of recent protests. Definitely something to monitor before making a decision. For any country, really, staying on top of the political climate is absolutely essential. So let's move on to our final destination, Albania. This is a country that's often overlooked but is gaining in popularity. I would say it's definitely one of our hidden gems on the Baltic Peninsula. Again, you can get a 1-year tourist visa, and with this you can explore the rugged mountainsides and the amazing towns. A year is a great amount of time to really take in the culture and see if it's for you. But what about long-term options for staying? The retirement visa option requires a monthly income just under $1,000 per month. You can also get a real estate visa here as well. I wasn't able to find the actual numbers required for that particular visa. Digital nomads will need to pay £2,800 deposit. The monthly income requirement, though, is fairly low. A great place if you are budget conscious. Now, Albania is very much still a developing country, developing rapidly, but developing all the same. So there are some infrastructure challenges, and not all of the country is as beautiful as some of the main cities. Being a little less popular on a tourist trail, you will find there's less direct flights from many countries, in which can present a bit of a difficulty getting back and forward if you are visiting family. So there we are. We've had a look at 15 incredible different destinations here. I hope you found this really useful. We've travelled from Belize to the mountains of Georgia, through to Asia. But what have I missed? If you were to design your perfect location, where would it be? Where are you thinking about potentially retiring to? Please let me know in the comments. It seems like the whole world is opening up to improved visas and allowing people to move around the world. So this presents some fantastic opportunities, a world of different adventures for us to visit, whether it be South America, Europe or Asia. So whether you're retiring or looking to do some digital nomad work or just a general exploration of the rest of the world, there's definitely better opportunities out there. Thanks for listening, everyone.